We're going to the $1.25 tree. Yeet! That is if they're open. Also, it is wet and gross out, and I am not looking forward to this because I didn't even want to get out of bed today. But you know what? We are here. We are having fun. They may just be opening later, but I'm going to go ahead and go in because I see more people pulling up, and I'm not trying to be the last one in the door. Not that it matters. I mean, like, y'all check out at different times, but whatever. I don't make any sense. It is wet and gross, and there's all kinds of weird things in this parking lot. I do live in a smaller town, so my Dollar Tree isn't quite as big as some others, but they do have a decent selection of art supplies available for those who are on a budget. Now, Easter was just yesterday, so they were out of some art supplies. I'm assuming people had filled up some Easter baskets with them, but that's perfectly alright because I know everything that was missing. So let's start off with the pencils, pens, and papers. Even if your only option is Dollar Tree, you should still shop smart because not everything at Dollar Tree is obviously good quality, but they do have some hidden gems in the mix. In most cases, I would avoid anything that's labeled the brand Jot or Ink. Look for quality over quantity. Try to find brands you recognize. Dixon is one of the best pencil creators out there. Sure, there may only be 8 in the pack, however, the pencil lead quality is so much better. My store is currently not selling any of their products, but I highly recommend anything that's labeled Pentel. It's actually a Japanese brand. I do try to avoid anything labeled ink because the quality is not the greatest, but if you desperately need a mechanical pencil and your only option is Dollar Tree, I would actually recommend these. However, I'm not personally a fan of a 0.7 lead. I prefer a 0.5. You already know it, but Sharpie is a tried and true brand, and yes, even professional artists use them for blocking in large areas, but they also work for tiny ones. I do think the ultra-fine Sharpies dry out a little bit faster though. Papermate makes some of the best pens that exist on this planet, so I highly recommend picking up some of them if you can. Obviously by the brand, not the greatest thing in the world, however if you need blue ink, they'll work. They were out of so much Crayola stuff, like all that was left was chalk and some weird scented markers. I haven't actually tried these ones, but again, Papermate is amazing, and they actually looked pretty decent, and it advertised that they don't bleed through, so maybe worth a shot. If you are getting paper at Dollar Tree, please be warned, this is not the place to go for watercolor paper because they don't have anything thick enough to hold the water. Watercolors aside though, any dry mediums like pencils or pens should work okay with this specific sketchbook, I think. I was looking through the sketchbooks and the green one seemed like it was like this weird off-white color and not that great of texture quality, but this black and white one actually was pretty awesome. The pros to this one is the paper has a nice brightness, the texture feels good, and you can insert your own cover, and it's a cute enough size that you could probably fit it in your purse. My main concern is just the paper is thin, so it's probably meant for only sketches. I would avoid this thing at all costs. The paper is basically newspaper. It was currently out of stock when I got there, but they normally have Crayola Super Tips in a 5 size. Getting into painting though, I am all about the watercolors, however I would avoid anything that's labeled Crafter's Square. Crayola actually does make some decent watercolors and they're normally available at Dollar Tree as well. I would avoid most anything labeled Tempera though. And don't get these art brushes because they'll literally fall apart, all of the hairs will come off of them and it'll end up in your paint. If you manage to get a hold of a watercolor set from Crayola, the brush that comes with it is normally at least halfway decent, but that is one thing I would save up money and invest in is some decent watercolor brushes. If you have watched any videos on my channel, I hope by now you know how I feel about crazy art. Again, you might be sacrificing 2 pencils, however, Crayola does normally sell some at Dollar Tree. Prang is an awesome brand. I haven't tried this tempera paint, but if you ever find their watercolors, please pick them up. I love the fact that Dollar Tree has all of these cute little cheap canvases though. If you're trying to get into acrylic painting, it's really cheap and this would be a great way to start off. It is only $1.25 here, so they only had a few options, but it was nice that there was more than one. If you want to learn how to make your own sketchbooks, I totally recommend checking out my previous videos because you can use these little discs that come on these notebooks to do so. That is an awesome money-saving hack. I, of course, couldn't leave without buying something, so I did pick up this cute little sketchbook. I'm not quite sure what I should put in yet, so if you have any ideas, leave them down below, and also if you have any video requests, leave them down below, but make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all later. 9cat, away.